Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I never liked corporate parties, but my wife, Emily, insisted I come to hers. It's important, she told me that morning, adjusting her blazer in the mirror. My team will be there. My boss will be there. I want you with me. I didn't question it. Emily had been working late for months. Late nights, weekend hours, emergency meetings that always seemed to pop up at the worst moments. I figured this party was her way of reconnecting with me. Maybe she felt the distance, too. So I put on a suit, practiced a polite smile, and walked into the downtown hotel ballroom with her hand in mine. The place was loud with forced laughter and the clinking of glasses. People mingled in small groups, half drunk on expensive wine bought to celebrate numbers I didn't understand. Emily introduced me around. Co-workers whose names I instantly forgot, team leads who looked like they lived at the office, interns smiling too hard. But one person wasn't there. Her boss, the man she talked about almost every night. Where's Daniel? I asked casually. Emily stiffened, just a bit, almost unnoticeably. He'll be here, she said. He's usually late. There was something in her tone, something practiced, but I pushed the thought away. Tonight was about supporting her. About an hour in, I stepped away to get us drinks. I was waiting at the bar when a voice behind me said, "That's quite a suit. You from corporate?" I turned around, and the man grinning at me was exactly who I expected. Tall, confident, expensively dressed, and radiating the kind of authority that makes people straighten their posture. Daniel, my wife's boss. He had no idea who I was. Not even a clue. "No," I replied calmly. "Just here with someone." "Ah," he smirked. "One of the plus ones. They always look so lost at these things." He laughed and clapped my shoulder like we were old buddies. "Don't worry. Just grab a drink, stay out of the business talk, and you'll be fine." Something in me tightened. Stay out of the business talk? Who did this man think he was? But I kept my tone neutral. "You seem pretty comfortable giving orders." He grinned wider. "Well, I'm the VP of operations. People tend to listen." He leaned in conspiratorially. "And between you and me, the spouses and partners, they're always the worst part of these events. Jealous types. Insecure. They hover around their hard-working other halves like guard dogs." A slow, cold burn spread through me. I studied him carefully, letting his words settle. He still didn't know. He still hadn't recognized my face in the framed photo Emily kept on her desk, the one she had shown her entire team. "You married?" I asked casually. Daniel rolled his eyes. "Divorced. My ex couldn't handle my schedule." He downed a sip of his drink. "But hey, that's the price of ambition. Not everyone understands. Especially in relationships. Relationships. Late nights. Ambition." Pieces started clicking. Harder than I wanted them to. "Anyway," he continued, "I should get back. There's someone special I'm waiting for tonight." His eyes drifted over my shoulder, brightened, and he smiled. Speak of the angel. I turned. Emily was walking toward us. Her expression shifted when she recognized who I was standing with. Something tense in her jaw. Something like panic flashed in her eyes. Daniel stepped forward eagerly. "There you are," he said warmly. Too warmly. "I was wondering when you'd finally." Then he froze. Because Emily slipped her hand around my arm. Because she leaned into me with the familiarity of a wife. Because she looked him straight in the eye and said, "Daniel, this is my husband, Nathan." His face drained. Completely. If someone had taken a photo at that moment, it would have captured the exact second Daniel realized he'd been bragging, flirting, and belittling me without knowing who I was. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. And Emily, she wasn't looking at him. She was looking at me, studying my reaction, waiting for something. Something she was afraid of, and that told me more than her words ever had. Before Daniel could recover, Emily squeezed my arm. "Nathan," she whispered, "can we talk somewhere private?" There it was, the thing I had been dreading without admitting it. A truth, a confession, something that needed to come out. Because the way her boss looked at her, And the way she looked at me, they weren't the reactions of coworkers. They were the reactions of people with a secret. We stepped out of the ballroom and into a quiet hallway lined with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Emily didn't speak at first. She just stood there, gripping her clutch so tightly her knuckles turned white. "Emily," I finally said, "what's going on?" She closed her eyes, exhaling shakily. "Nathan, I didn't want you to come tonight." "I noticed," I replied, her eyes open, glassy, uncertain. "Things have been complicated at work." "Complicated?" I repeated slowly. "Or inappropriate?" Her breath caught. A tiny, telling sound. That was all I needed. "Emily," I said quietly, "how long has this been going on?" She flinched. "Nothing happened, I swear. But Daniel, he's intense. He pays attention. He's charming. And when you and I started arguing about my hours, I think I got caught in the pressure of it all. Pressure, work, long nights, soft admiration for a man who wasn't her husband. The pieces weren't just clicking anymore. They were falling into place like dominoes. So he's been making advances," I said. She nodded slowly. "For months. And you didn't shut it down." Her silence answered more loudly than any denial. I turned toward the window, trying to steady my breathing. The city lights looked like scattered stars, beautiful but distant, just like Emily had felt for the last year. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked. "I didn't want you to think that I liked the attention." But she had. That much was obvious. "Did you?" I asked. Emily swallowed hard. "It made me feel important, valued. I know that's awful. I'm ashamed of it. But I never let it go further. I never cheated on you, Nathan. Not physically. Emotionally, that was a different story." Before I could respond, we heard footsteps behind us. Heavy ones. Daniel came down the hallway, looking nervous and angry all at once. "Emily," he said, ignoring me entirely. "Can we talk?" "In private." "No," I said calmly. Daniel turned to me, irritation flashing across his face. "This isn't your conversation." "Actually," I replied, stepping toward him, "it's entirely my conversation." He stiffened, finally abandoning the fake corporate charm. "Look, I didn't know who you were. That was a misunderstanding." "No," I said, keeping my voice low. "What you did wasn't a misunderstanding. You flirted with a married woman for months. You took advantage of your position. You made her uncomfortable. And then, tonight, you spoke to me like I was beneath you." Daniel opened his mouth to respond, but Emily stepped in front of him. "Stop," she said sharply. "I'm done being caught in the middle of this." He stared at her like he didn't expect resistance. "Emily, don't be dramatic. You know how much we've—" "We've what?" she cut in. "Talked? Worked late? Exchanged compliments?" Her voice trembled, but her words were steady. "Nathan deserves better than vague excuses. And so do I." Daniel looked shocked, almost offended. "You're overreacting. This is ridiculous." "No," she said. "It's overdue." For the first time, I saw the shift. Emily wasn't speaking like someone tempted by her boss's attention anymore. She was speaking like someone realizing the consequences of it. Daniel's jaw tightened. "Fine. Do whatever you want." He turned and stalked back toward the ballroom, muttering under his breath. When he disappeared around the corner, Emily finally sank onto a bench, her shoulders shaking. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I should have set boundaries. I should have told you. I should have been stronger." I sat beside her, leaving a small space between us. "Emily," I said softly, "I'm not angry because another man found you attractive. I'm angry because you didn't trust me enough to be honest. You let him into a space that belonged to us." She wiped her eyes. "I know. And if you can't forgive me, I understand." I stayed quiet for a moment. The truth was, forgiveness wasn't the question. Trust was. "I'm not walking away," I said finally, "but things need to change. Both of us need to put effort into this marriage again. That includes boundaries, transparency, and time together." Her relief was visible, profound. "I'll do whatever it takes." I want us, Nathan. I choose us. I studied her face, the fear, the sincerity, the regret, and I realized something important. Mistakes don't destroy a marriage. Silence does. Secrets do. She reached for my hand. This time, I didn't pull away. Let's go home, I said. We're done with this party. As we left the hallway and stepped back into the ballroom, Daniel saw us. He looked smug, like he thought he still had some hold over her. Emily didn't spare him a glance. She tightened her grip on my hand, and for the first time in months, I felt like I wasn't losing my wife. I was getting her back.